It's 5:30 in the morning on July 13th. I'm at the West End Gun Club. I actually have the day off, so I can spend a little more time here at the range today. Of all things I forgot though, I forgot to bring my lav mic, so I think I prepped for this range trip and I guess my lav mic fell out of my camera bag. So the audio in this video may be a little sketchy. It's going to be all through the Rode microphone that I have on the camera, and I'm going to try to run my field recorder close to the bench or close to my body. But I was going to try to record some videos today, but apparently outside of the range vlog, but apparently that may not happen because of the mic situation. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get all my targetry out so I can get it all staged and start shooting. So I checked the calendar before I came out to the range because sometimes there's special events that go on at West End, and sometimes they shut down portions of the range to do maintenance. But apparently all the bays in the back are going to be used by Turner's Outdoorsman, which is a California, I think it's only in California, it's a chain of firearms dealers or firearms stores. I think they have a special 3-gun match for their employees, so they reserved all of the bays at the West End Gun Club. So I'm not sure if the range is going to be packed today, at least the main side, because there might be people who show up to the back ranges and find they're busy and they're like, well, I want to shoot something, so they'll probably come out to the main line to shoot. So we'll see if it gets a little busier here on a Thursday than it normally does, but we'll see. I get regular inquiries about the Lab Radar. A lot of people see a video or a range vlog or my review that I've done on this, the Doppler radar system, Chronograph system, and people have asked me opinions of it, and I still stand by this product. I think it's a really good system, as far better than optical, and I'm not going to say it's better than magneto speed. A lot of people like their magneto speeds, and they're also good chronographs. It's just I tried the Lab Radar, I like it, and it does what I need it to do, but a lot of people who use suppressors, they need something that can detect their shots better, and I think the magneto speed is a little bit more adept to that. So use what's best for your shooting style, but for me the Lab Radar works great. So as far as the system, I bought it myself. I paid for it out of my own pocket when I heard about it, and I think my money was well spent. It's far better than my old my shooting Cronny optical system, which I'm still trying to sell. Nobody wants to buy it off me. But yeah, definitely if you're looking for a new chronograph, I would consider Lab Radar, and at the very least, go with the magneto speed. The magneto speed is about half the price of the Lab Radar, and it will do what you need it to do, and I think it'll function a lot better than a optical chronograph, which is so susceptible to light conditions. So I highly recommend at least the magneto speed, if not a Lab Radar. So as you can see, I brought my Savage 10FP and 6.5 Creedmoor, rebarreled obviously with the shilling if you've been paying attention to my vlogs and or my blog, which I have an extensive set of articles on this build, or this rebuild rather. But I'm just testing out some loads I did with Hornady brass, because I still haven't been able to get Hornady brass or prime brass to shoot out of this gun. I'm not sure if it's my reloading process or what for brass prep, but we'll try to figure that out. And I have some Lapua loads for the 6.5 Creedmoor. They're both the same round. It's 130 grain Berger AR hybrids, and we'll see how they shoot. I'm just going to shoot these as reference, and plus to confirm a 0, and then I'm just going to try these out, get some chrono data, and see if they group at all. And I brought my two other guns besides this one. I brought my Remington 700, obviously in the AICS chassis, and then I brought an old gun I haven't shot in about 6 years, probably. An older gun that I haven't shot in 6 years. So when I break that out, you'll see what that looks like. First shot of the day, 2741 feet per second, cold clean bore. And I just realized I have the 140 grains, not 130 grains. But I guess we'll stop shooting these because I don't need these for reference. Average 5 shots, 2757 feet per second. So let's go ahead and shoot the 130s. Grab the wrong box, my last string. First shot, 2904 feet per second. So it actually started creeping up on the 5-shot series. 2904 all the way to 2933. Extreme spread was 29, standard deviation 10.9, average of 2916 feet per second. But it shoots well. I just picked up this Kestrel drop meter. It's a weather meter. It pretty much connects to your smartphone, and I figured it was a nice, inexpensive option to get density altitude. And so I've been messing around with this at work. At the office, I put this outside, and I was able to get the readings on my phone through the window. And but we'll see how it works out at the range, just to collect some weather data. I used to own a regular Kestrel, but I sold it several years back because I never really used it. But now I've become more attuned to density altitude and what that means for trajectory. So I went ahead and acquired a weather sensor to get me density altitude. So pretty much what I'm doing now is just getting the thermometer acclimated to the air. So you're just kind of getting the sensor mixed with the air. That's pretty much what they tell you to do, is kind of twirl it around. As even their wind meters, you got to do that just to get the thermometer acclimated to the environment. Came out for a quick line break. A couple guys showed up to the range, but here's the 140 grain burgers. Kind of wild here. This is the first shot and it all drifted right. Here's the 130 grain burger ARs. This is a great group, 5 shots. So I'm really liking the burger AR 130 grain AR hybrids. So the 130 grain AR hybrids definitely look like a very good bullet for me, at least in this gun. 2,900 feet per second is a really good velocity for that. It can account for a lot of things as far as overcoming the ballistic coefficient, that you're getting less BC on a 130, but considering that they designed it for mag length and they optimized it for that, the 6.5 Creedmoor or the 308 magazine length, overall length, it seems to be shooting pretty well. So I think I'm going to stick to 130 grains. As long as you shoot them at 2,900 feet per second, you're going to be able to overcome. It's a flatter trajectory because you're shooting it faster. Up until about 900 yards, the wind drift is about the same as 140 grain, moving at 2750 feet per second. So it's a pretty ideal scenario for out to 1,000. Beyond 1,000, the wind drift is going to kill you on a lighter bullet, but that's what you sacrifice. So I think I'll live with that. So you saw that the 130 grain AR hybrids with the Lapua brass shot an incredible 5-shot group. And so we're going to go ahead and try the Hornady brass now. It's the same exact load pretty much, except I came down half a grain on 4350 with the 130 grain hybrids. So we're going to try 43 grains and 43.5 grains. And we'll see how it holds up with the Hornady brass and large rifle primers. So the first shot was 28.65, so it's a good 40 to 45 feet per second slower, which is to be expected with half a grain difference. So with the Hornady brass 130 grain burger hybrids, 43 grains to 4350 CCI BR2s, we're looking at an average of 28.76 feet per second. The group wasn't all that good. It was okay, 10-shot group. It's got a standard deviation of 10.2, extreme spread of 33. So the 43.5 grains of Hornady, or sorry, 43.5 grains, 4350 with the Hornady brass, the 130 hybrids, average 29.13, which is about where I expected. Standard deviation of 12.7 and extreme spread of 35, but that group was terrible. No better than a minute. It's probably a little bit more. Granted, it's a 10-shot group, but still you would expect at least most of it to fall in line with a specific area. It's not, but we'll see it when we go out there. So I just put through a 20-shot string with the Burger 130 grain AR hybrid, 43.5 grains to 4350 with brand new Lapua brass and CC BR4s with the average of 20. Standard deviation of 11.7, which isn't great, and extreme spread of 37. But it is a 20-shot group, or a 20-shot string or aggregate, so it's a good sampling. So this is the other gun I was mentioning earlier in the vlog. This is my 6mm BR. It's an Eliseo gun, an R5 chassis. It's a Remington 700 commodity action, just your standard Remington 700 action that was redone. And I've got a heart barrel in it. It's a 26-inch heart barrel, 6 BR as I mentioned before. And it was trued up by Don Trevor. He installed the barrel. Gary Eliseo of Competition Shooting Stuff put it together for me back when he was still in Orange, California, before he moved out to Arizona. So this was meant to be my across the course gun, but I never really really finished my service rifle stuff. I kind of just fell out of it, and so I never really tried to shoot match rifle across the course. So as you can see, it's pretty much an iron sight gun, obviously, since NRA high power is shot across the course with iron sights. And And so I'm sticking the iron sights on because I didn't feel like throwing a scope on here. I don't have a reduced target, so a 100-yard reduced target, so we're just going to use a 200-yard target, NRA target, and we'll try to keep it centered with the aperture sights. But we'll see how it shoots today.
Are those, trying to think of who makes those rings.
And I honestly don't know my zeros for this. I think I know the 200-yard zero is already set. Once I install the front sight at the top setting, I know it's at my 200-yard zero. I just don't know if my rear sight is set for 200.
Cali, those guys have been famous in 200-yard bench rest shooting for 30 years probably.
So the front sight's what we call the right sight by a Stallings machine. They started getting popular when I started building this gun, so that's why I went for it. And then my rear sight is a Phoenix Precision rear with service rifle turrets. So for those who don't know, it's service rifle. It's kind of the opposite of scopes. So you turn clockwise to go right on the windage, but on service rifles. But on regular scopes, you go left. You turn clockwise to go left. So the reason why I went that route is because I didn't want to be confused between service rifle and match rifle. So when I shoot service rifle, I'm always dialing clockwise to go right. So when I shot match rifle, I wanted to make sure that I had the same exact method by which I go right on the windage. So 6BR, just for those that don't know, it became really popular. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but it started getting popular in the mid-2000s, early 2000s for shooting. Here's a 6BR cartridge and a 6mm or 6.5mm Creedmoor cartridge side by side. So you can see the case is really short, hopefully on the video. That case is really short comparatively. And so I had to put a Sako extractor modification, which I have a video on, and a lot of people put some trash comments on there saying that you don't need that and my gun is broken if I need a Sako extractor. It's not true. The short case, you need, in order to eject the case out of the 700 factory action, if you slow stroke that bolt, it'll get caught up in the action because there's not enough spring tension to cam it over that action port, because the short case just doesn't generate the torque. So, like the long case does. So that's why I put a Sako extractor on it. But anyway, 6BR is a great cartridge. It's not really ideal for 1,000 yards because you can push about 3,000 feet per second. You can try to go to 3,100, but you're risking it as far as pressure is concerned and powder capacity, because you know the short case isn't holding enough powder. So based on my data here, it's actually loaded back in June of 2009. It's 107 grain Sierra Match Kings with 29.5 grains of Vargate. I tried 30 grains of Vargate and it got me an extra 25 to 30 feet per second, or 50 feet per second. But I think the groups opened up, so I decided to dial back down. So I think, if my memory serves me correctly, this might shoot 2,900 feet per second, which is good for across the course up to 600, 600 yards. But at 1,000, it's going to get killed by the wind drift. Well, actually, it wouldn't. I guess it wouldn't get killed too much by wind drift, but 2,900 feet per second with a 107 is okay. It's about in line with the Berger 105s. Either way, for 1,000 yards, you want to go faster if you can with a 6mm cartridge. So that first shot says 2744 feet per second. And you saw my brass ejection, you notice how it launches out? It's because that Sako extractor kicks it pretty good. So it's a very light recoiling cartridge, 6mm BR. This gun isn't too heavy. I don't remember weighing it, but it's not more than 12 pounds, 10 pounds, 12 pounds. It's a nice light recoil. It's a great cartridge for people. Technically 6mm is a barrel burner, but right now it looks like I'm only pushing at most 2790 feet per second. It should last a little bit longer than a hot rodded 6mm cartridge. So just to give you a little bit of a video of up close on what I'm talking about with regards to the a standard Remington extractor with this short case coming out of this Remington short action. If I try to inject this with a short stroke, if I slowly open the bolt, you'll see that the ejector itself is pushing out the, but when it hits this hump here on the action, it doesn't have enough torque to get right at this point to kick the cartridge out. So this is what happens. The cartridge will just stay into the action and it's not ejected, and you can have a problem. So if you slow stroke or short stroke the bolt, you're actually you're gonna have a double feed or a failure to extract. So what this is, I mean, it's fine if you quickly eject it, quickly operate the bolt. But in certain scenarios or in a match situation, if you're not cognizant of it, you could result in a failure to extract, and that'll ruin your string of fire. So it's fine if you just quickly pull back, but it's still you're not guaranteeing ejection. So here's with the Sako mod extractor. Sorry, Sako extractor mod. You notice I'm going to slowly pull the bolt back, and once it cams onto that, you got extra spring tension hitting that case, and you get extra torque, and it kicks that cartridge out quite easily with a lot of force. So it's really nice if you're going to operate the bolt inconsistently. It gives you that extra peace of mind that it's going to eject from the gun for you. And if you operate it quickly, it's going to kick out really far. So that's pretty much why I got the extractor mod for this specific gun. Now, if you're not going to run a short case like the 6mm BR, a short cartridge, then this is not even a problem for you. Don't even worry about it. But if you're going to shoot standard 308 style cartridges, 260 Rem, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6 Creedmoor, you're going to be fine without the Sako extractor mod. And generally speaking, you don't even want those on a field gun, because Sako extractors, when they fail, they have a different parts can come out of that bolt, which could be a hazard. So this is kind of a specialty type modification that you want on more of a competition style gun, controlled competition style gun. So I ordered 3 of these magazines that are advertised by Brownells as Remington Defense mags. They're actually Accuracy International stamped. So I'm not entirely sure what the story is on these. They're supposedly the same mags that are issued along with the Remington Rax rifles, is it the PSR? Whatever the Remington sniper rifle is that's issued to the Army now, their advanced chassis system. The color of this is about on par with the FDE of my AICS. So I'm not entirely sure if they were supposed to be darker. The photos on the Brownells sites were on Brownells website was a lot different than what you see in person. But in the daylight, it does have that tan look to it. It's not like that pink pale tan that you might see with some Accuracy International chassis. Maybe, depending what the light it is, but like on flash, so 5200 Kelvin roughly, 5500 Kelvin, it does look a little bit paler, but out in the sunlight, it definitely looks tan. So it just all depends on the white balance. But anyway, these are supposedly Teflon coated. The feed lips do not abuse the brass apparently. Compared to my factory 5-round AICS mags, those scratch up my brass something fierce. But these are smooth, and I really like these. So I remember in a previous vlog that I mentioned that I prefer the Magpul PMags, the AICS PMags that they make, simply because the polymer is better for the brass. So I think that with these mags, these ones are definitely nicer as far as the treatment of the brass. So I might start to use these. These are limited supply though, apparently, according to Brownell, so I might order a couple more. They're kind of expensive compared to the Magpul mags though. These are about $65, and you can get the Magpul AICS mags. Those are only $30 for a 10-rounder. So these are really nice and they're really cool. I mean, if you like the FDE, the flat dark earth look. But yeah, these are kind of cool. Earlier I said that I believe my cost to build that Eliseo R5 match rifle was about $2,300 with the sights. That's incorrect. If you look at these sights, I'm packing them up. This is the front sight, and this is the Phoenix rear. I believe this was $500 with the iris and everything and diopter, and this was another $500. So it's about $1,000 just for the sights. So I think it was $2,300 for the rifle, and then add for the sights, just to be a little bit more correct. I'd have to look at my data, but I'm pretty sure that's a little bit more in line with the true cost. So there's a little summary of my target here. Just early in the morning, as I mentioned earlier, did this with a 140 grain Burger hybrids, and then here's a 130 grain Burger hybrids, AR hybrids in Lapua brass. Then we went with Hornady. This is 43.0 grains. Hornady brass 43.5 grains, so 4350. And then just reconfirming the 130 grain AR hybrids. This is a 10-shot group with 43.5, 4350, and Lapua brass, of course. And then here's just, I was doing some windage adjustments on the no wind zero. And then so on the bottom of the target, I've got some groups shooting or just aiming points that I was shooting off of the tripod from the sitting position. And so I figured out ways to shoot off the tripod. To preload that tripod, I figured out a way to kind of just dampen the vibration or the twisting action on the legs with my left hand. So I figured all that out, and pretty much I was able to kind of make that effective on target. So I think I can shoot a relative group here. So this was a 5-shot group that I shot after I got everything locked in. And so it's not bad at 100 yards from a sitting position with a tripod. Obviously, I need to play around with it more. And there's ways I can figure out as far as how to tighten down the position, just like I would in sling supported. But that's pretty much the summary of my target for today. But I'm really happy with the 130 grain AR hybrids with Lapua brass. I mean, that's a great 5-shot group. This is pretty good with the 43 grains, but it's running 50 feet per second slower than I want. This is where I want to be as far as the velocities with the Hornady brass, but the group opened up quite a bit. So We might work with that, and I think Hornady brass, I can get it to shoot with the 130 grains. Definitely didn't shoot well with the 140 grains, but we'll measure this when I get home. It's 10 o'clock and I've got all my gear packed up. I'm in the truck, about to leave the range. It's starting to heat up a little bit. That's why I got the AC going in the truck. It was a good day. I've been shooting for a good, in my range session is about 4.5 hours roughly. Nice relaxing time, not having to rush to work or rush to get my stuff done or get my data collected and do what I wanted to do and then rush to work. So it's a good relaxing day. Good to take the day off and spend the extra few hours at the range. As far as shooting is concerned, after today, I'm not entirely sure when the next time I'm going to shoot. Still want to go to Pendleton, but unfortunately they have the restrictions right now on cartridges still, and they're still waiting on the waiver to not have to shoot just 223 or 308. So I want to test my 6 Creedmoor out, or 6.5 Creedmoor out there and get some dope for 600 and 1,000 yards. So hopefully that transpires, or the waivers transpire, and we can shoot at Pendleton with non-308, non-223 ammo or cartridges. So that's pretty much it. Gonna get out of the range. Probably, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. Finish the day off. I know I was gonna take at least I need to go out to Orange County to head up to the Oakley headquarters, or their corporate store, their central store rather, where they have all their frames that I can look at, because I want to check out some new frames. I want some new glasses that are just non-sunglasses that I can use for a little more active use, because the glasses I wear on a day-to-day basis are sort of dressy and they're not really good for sports. So I want something that's a little bit tougher, more rugged frame. So I'm gonna go head out there and take a look at some of their stuff over there. And they're only open on weekdays, I think, and maybe on Saturdays, but limited hours. So gonna try to make the best of my day off outside of the shooting range. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So today is Thursday, July 13th. I'm leaving the West End Gun Club. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next range vlog. If you need to go down, I'm clear.
Yeah, okay. Going down?